hope you're doing well. My name's Matthew, and I post videos every Monday and Friday. So if you love the tingles, then hit that subscribe button because you are in the right place. And if you're feeling really generous, hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Now, this video, I've just not been able to get into a good flow. I've gone through this video once, didn't hit record, and I keep screwing it up basically. But anyway, this video is actually one of my suggestions. I saw Gypsy appear on the Kardashians last week, and I thought her case was really interesting. I think I've heard bits about this case, but I didn't know too much, so I wanted to do more research, and I thought actually this would make a great video. So yeah, let's get into the story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So, her mother Dee Dee falsely claimed that her daughter was suffering from different illnesses until Gypsy arranged for her boyfriend to kill her to kill her mother in 2015. So Gypsy Rose grew up with her mother Dee Dee, making claims about her health that resulted in a series of dire diagnoses and medical interventions. However, Gypsy wasn't actually unwell. Her mother had been lying about her symptoms. Experts believed that Dee Dee's behaviour stemmed from a mental disorder, Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Because Dee Dee wanted to be a caretaker, she feigned and induced illness in her daughter. The truth about Gypsy and her mother only came out after Gypsy arranged from an online boyfriend to murder Dee Dee in 2015. So Gypsy was born in 1991, and as a baby, Dee Dee claimed that her daughter had sleep apnea. When Gypsy was 8 years old, Dee Dee described her as suffering from leukemia and muscular dystrophy, and said she required a wheelchair and a feeding tube. The list of medical problems that Dee Dee related about her daughter would go on to include seizures, asthma, hearing and visual impairments. Due to Dee Dee's actions, Dee Dee was described a litany of medications and had to sleep using a breathing machine. She also went through multiple surgeries, including procedures on her eyes and removal of her salivary glands. When Gypsy's teeth rotted, perhaps due to her medications, missing glands or neglect, they were pulled out. Yet the truth was that Gypsy could walk, didn't need a feeding tube, and didn't have cancer. Her head was only bald because her mother shaved off her hair. Experts believed that Dee Dee had a mental illness known as Munchausen syndrome by proxy, also called factitious disorder imposed on another, which made her fabricate her daughter's ill health in order to receive attention and sympathy for taking care of a sick child. Medical tests often showed inconclusive or contradictory results regarding Gypsy's diagnosis, but Dee Dee would stop seeing any doctor who questioned her daughter's ailments, and many caregivers went along with what Dee Dee wanted. She had some nurses training so she could accurately describe symptoms, and sometimes gave Gypsy medication to mimic certain conditions. Dee Dee was also charming and seemed devoted to her daughter. When Gypsy was old enough to talk, Dee Dee instructed her not to volunteer information during their appointments. She was always the one relating Gypsy's fake medical history. Dee Dee told Gypsy's father, Rod, that her daughter had a chromosomal disorder that led to many health issues. He complimented Dee Dee for her devoted care. When some of Dee Dee's family noticed that Gypsy didn't seem to need a wheelchair, she asked questions. Dee Dee and Gypsy moved away. Dee Dee claimed to be a victim of Hurricane Katrina, so she and Gypsy received assistance to relocate from Louisiana to Missouri. In 2005, there Dee Dee continued to bring Gypsy to doctor's appointments. Hurricane Katrina also provided an excuse for missing medical records. In 2008, Gypsy and Dee Dee moved into their new home in Springfield, Missouri. Built by Habitat for Humanity, it was painted pink and had a wheelchair ramp. Gypsy and Dee Dee also received benefits that included charities, sponsored visits to concerts and Disney World. All along, Dee Dee continued to bask in the attention she received for being a devoted caretaker. When Gypsy was 14, she saw a neurologist in Missouri, I don't know if I said that weird, who came to believe that she was a victim of Munchausen syndrome by proxy. However, this doctor never reported her case to the authorities. In later interviews, he stated his belief was that there wasn't enough evidence to act. In 2009, an anonymous report was made to the authorities stating that Dee Dee's accounts of Gypsy's ailments had no medical basis. This resulted in 2 caseworkers visiting their home, but Dee Dee convinced them that there was nothing wrong. As Gypsy grew older, Dee Dee began to lie about her age, going as far to alter the dates on Gypsy's birth certificate to make her daughter seem younger, but Gypsy was still becoming harder for Dee Dee to control. In 2011, Gypsy tried to get away from her mother by running away with the man she met at the science fiction convention, but Dee Dee soon tracked them down via mutual friends. She convinced the man that Gypsy was a minor, though she was actually 19 at the time. According to Gypsy, Dee Dee smashed her computer and physically restrained her to the bed after they returned home. Gypsy had also stated that her mother would sometimes hit her and deny her food. Gypsy eventually managed to get back online. She joined a Christian dating site where she met Nicholas Gojon. Not sure if I pronounced that right, probably not. She told him the truth about her mother's actions and ended up asking him to kill Dee Dee so they could be together. In June 2015, he came to her house and stabbed Dee Dee while Gypsy waited. It is covered in the bathroom. I know this is just like a summary, but I mean, how do you then, with that, you then convince someone to be like, yeah, I'll kill your mum for you. There's some, that bit needs a little bit more. I want to know more about that. How do you go from talking to someone you've never met to then be like, yeah, like, don't get me wrong, the situation's messed up, but it's interesting how Nicholas is like, yeah, I'll kill her for you. Anyway, Gypsy and Nicholas returned to his home in Wisconsin, where they were found by police. Gypsy had twice posted onto the Facebook account she shared with her mother, once writing, "That bitch is dead." She later explained she made the post because she wanted her mother's body to be discovered. After Dee Dee's murder, many people who'd known Gypsy wondered why she had gone as far as to kill her. Since she could walk, she simply could have exposed Dee Dee's lies by standing up in public, yet Gypsy had been conditioned to think that no one would believe her. She explained, "I couldn't just jump out of the wheelchair because I was afraid, and I didn't know what my mother would do. I didn't have anyone to trust." The fact that Gypsy had spent her entire life being controlled and monitored by her mother, she wasn't allowed to go to school. Although Gypsy was of normal intelligence, Dee Dee told everyone that her daughter had a mental age of 7. When they were out in public, Dee Dee constantly held Gypsy's hand, squeezing it when she wanted her daughter to be quiet. Dr. Mark Feldman, an expert in Munchausen syndrome by proxy, said of Gypsy's life and actions, "The control was total in the same sense that the control of a kidnapped victim sometimes is total. Her daughter was in essence a hostage, and I think we can understand the crime that occurred subsequently in terms of a hostage trying to gain escape." As Gypsy's medical records documented the abuse she'd been subjected to, her lawyer was able to arrange a plea deal for the charges she faced in Dee Dee's death. In 2016, Gypsy pled guilty to second-degree murder. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison and served 85% of her sentence before being released on December 28, 2023. John was found guilty of first-degree murder in 2018 and was sentenced to life in prison. Keep doing that. Gypsy said she enjoyed more freedom in prison than in the life she shared with her mother Dee Dee. However, when asked by Dr. Phil if she was glad her mother was dead, she stated, "I am glad that I'm out of the situation, but I'm not happy she's dead." It was only after Dee Dee's death that Gypsy realised the extent of her mother's deception. While Gypsy had known she could walk and eat regular food, she had believed she had leukemia. Today, Gypsy is healthy and living in Louisiana with her father and stepmother. She's also the subject of 2 Lifetime shows, The Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Gypsy Rose, Life After Lookup. Also recently revealed she's preparing to become a new mum. She and her boyfriend Ken Urker are expecting a baby in January 2025. That's exciting news. But this is a mind-blowing case. I mean, to live your life under such control and to think that you've got all these things wrong with you, like a parent is to love and protect you, and actually you're actually putting your child through so much pain and suffering through all these lies. Like, I can see how Gypsy wanted out of the situation. Like, as she showed, it was a horrible situation to be in, and it is great to hear that she does realise that, like, killing her mum was too far, and she does regret that part. I mean, it's such a sad and messed up case. Well, it's not a case story. I mean, this is Gypsy's life. and she's going to become a mother. I mean, her life is moving in a positive direction. But what was also interesting from watching the Kardashians is that Gypsy asked for therapy when she went into prison, which you would have thought, with her situation, there's clearly some issues to work through, but she was told that she didn't meet the criteria for therapy, so she didn't get that. I'm not sure she ended up getting therapy in prison at any point later on, but definitely at the start, she said she didn't get it. And it's, I mean prison reform, but it's probably not an ASMR topic, and definitely not a topic for now, but the good thing is that she knows she's done wrong, regrets the way it happened. So it's not as if she's going around saying, "Oh yeah, I'm glad she did. I've done nothing wrong." There is remorse there, so there's definitely she deserves to live her life. You know, to be fair, she didn't really have much of a life up until her mother's murder, and then obviously in prison. Okay, yes, she says she got more freedom, which is even devastating to hear, because that's that defeats the object of prison, doesn't it? You're meant to have less freedom, but actually prison gave her more freedom. It's a heartbreaking story, but exciting news on the baby. Gotta love puppers. Anyway, I hope you found this video to be really interesting. I'm certainly fascinated by Gypsy's story, and yeah, if you've got any case suggestions you want to hear about, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye guys.